Hey everyone, and welcome to Little Steps Asia Live. I'm Glenda with Little Steps, your leading digital media right across Asia for families. We are live today in beautiful Sai Kung at the VRC in Hong Kong, and I'm with these three ladies from Malvern College Preschools, and they are going to share some great insights on how we can raise confident children, as well as they've got some exciting news about their new outdoor program. But before I make formal introductions, a few reminders to everyone that's watching. We do go live every Wednesday, and if you'd like to see what we have coming up, you can head to our Facebook page, the events section, click on the ones you're interested in, and we'll be sure to send you a reminder. As well, we do have a weekly newsletter out of our 6 different cities. If you'd like to get connected with that, you can head down to the description down below. And as I said before, we are live, which means that we love to interact with you, so please let us know your questions, share your comments, and we'll try to answer everything before the hour is up. So I would like to start off with our first guest today, Jacqueline McNalty. She is the head of preschools of Malvern College Preschools, MCPS, Hong Kong. And then we have Claire Jones, Forest-Beach School leader and early years teacher, and Virginia Lau on the end, Mandarin coordinator and early years teacher. Jacqueline has worked in early childhood education for 29 years, and prior to joining MCPS as founding principal, she held leadership roles in Australia, the UK, China, and Singapore. Our next guest, Claire, holds a level 3 diploma in forest school leadership and has a wealth of experience in outdoor education. Claire loves to enhance children's experiences through outdoor learning. And our third guest today, Virginia. She's Malvern's Mandarin coordinator. She believes that children learn languages through various channels, and she feels passionate about teaching Mandarin to young children in fun and engaging ways. So thank you, ladies, so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. So we are going to break our conversation up into 3 topic areas today. The first one will be Malvern's outdoor education programs. Next up, we'll look at the Forest-Beach School Nature Explorers, which is your new program that you're launching. And finally, language focused on how to boost children's English and Mandarin skills in an outdoor setting. Okay, so we'll start off with our first topic, your outdoor programs, and we'll direct these towards Jacqueline, but if you ladies have something to add, please by all means do. Can you describe how Malvern's commitment to outdoor and environmental education benefits children?
Hello everybody. Well, we're here at one of our 2 beautiful Forest Beach School sites. So the benefits, I could go on and on. I know we've only got an hour, but really Malvern College has a 156-year history of excellence, valuing all areas, the academic, but of course looking at holistic development, the personal, social, emotional, well-being, physical, the arts, all areas of learning. And we come to you from Malvern, UK, where we have a very famous forest school at our Downs site. So forest school is part of our DNA, part of our mission, vision and values, part of our 5 centres of excellence. So we're really excited to have Forest Beach School here in Hong Kong. We're the only school in Hong Kong to have Forest Beach School. We've been leading Forest Beach School for 5 years with great success. So the benefits and why we brought Forest Beach School to the pupils, to Hong Kong, is really to connect to nature. We know the research on well-being. We know Forest Beach School connects to all areas of development, all areas of learning. In the preschools, we follow the early years foundation stage curriculum. It's a world-leading curriculum from the UK, and we look at mathematics. We can teach and extend through mathematics in nature. If we look at one of the areas of the EYFS, literacy, we teach and extend literacy out and about in nature, through nature. If we look at understanding the world, we're teaching children these scientific concepts in a hands-on, wonderful, exciting way. Physical development. When we look at Hong Kong, a lot of our students are perhaps living in the city, living in an apartment. We need these opportunities to connect and extend our children, to give them the great outdoors, to give them physical development where they can run or climb, build their gross or fine motor skills. So really, the arts, I could go on, but the 7 areas of the EYFS are enriched and extended through the Forest Beach School program. But let's not forget about well-being. We know with the pandemic, with people being a bit housebound, how important it is to get our children, be it Malvern College students and pupils Or we'll talk about forest explorers, giving this opportunity to everybody in Hong Kong, widening the program, which we're so excited about. We really need to have these sites and opportunities to connect, extend learning, to connect and extend physical development, and to connect and extend well-being. So again, we're so excited to have this opportunity for our pupils and for the wider community as well.
Oh, it sounds fantastic. And this is one of the locations, which is absolutely beautiful, as you can see behind us here. So can you tell us, what do the children most enjoy from the Forest Beach School programs?
Look, we've been running Forest Beach School for 5 years, and every day, it's a Forest Beach School day, I have mums and dads telling me they were up at 5 in the morning with their bags packed because they couldn't wait to go to school. Really, that's a hard question because they love every facet of Forest Beach School. As I said before, we have 2 sites. We have this site, which is beautiful in Sai Kung. We have another site called Garden Farm in Sai Kung. It's a little bit flatter for our younger pupils, the 2 to 3s. But both sites have a woodland. Both sites have a wonderful beach area. And so you can see the learning that we can tease out and extend is quite diverse. We can look at woodlands, we can look at the sea creatures at the beach, we can look at sustainability, we can look at the water cycle. Whatever the children's interests are, we can extend on their interests as well. So I'll probably hand that question over to Mrs. Claire Jones, our amazing Level 3 Forest Beach School leader, because for me that's a hard question. They connect, they love every facet of Forest Beach School. But Claire, what would your answer be to that question?
So we're very much governed by the weather and the outdoor environment that enhances our learning, because at every part of the year we have different experiences. So although I plan very carefully, when we arrive, it depends whether we have a high or low tide. Particularly this time of year, the beach is definitely an excitement for all the children, paddling in the sea, exploring what they can find on the beach, and really enjoying integrating, socializing, and being able to join together in various activities. And I think then as we progress through the academic year, the children still want to come to the beach, but they find the woodland area where they can look for insects, mini beasts. I think in my many years of teaching in the classroom and outdoors, particularly outdoors, children love to see things moving. Initially maybe they're a little bit fearful, but we carefully pick up with, we have lots of resources to collect, have little bug viewing pots, and the children can really look closely at the natural world around them and living things. And of course we instill in the children to care for themselves, each other and the environment, so both our forest school sites and everything in the environment. And then we're lucky that the children can bring an adult carer with them, so this is a fantastic opportunity not only to share experiences but to build memories that I know children will take with them, not only through their school life but also ahead into their future.
Claire's raised a really good point. We do take an adult with them, and I often get comments from parents, all the adult attending, that they're learning so much about the scientific concepts. They're learning about how, if they go to the country park, how to draw things out with their child, how to observe nature, how to learn about nature, how to appreciate and love nature. And that's such a critical part of our program, not just educating our pupils, but the accompanying adults as well, which is it's a really strong community event.
Wonderful bonding experience, I think, right? Yeah, beautiful.
And also what I encourage is, so through activities, scavenger hunts, lots of different activities to show parents that they don't need to spend money on buying equipment and resources, that actually a lot of the things that we use are actually in the environment. So picking up pine cones, picking up sticks, and the joy of that is that it's an open-ended activity. So when giving the children the start of an idea, for example from a story like Stickman, where children collect sticks and are excited that this might be Stickman or Stickman's wife or Stickman's children, but then a stick becomes a pencil for drawing in the sand, or a stick becomes a walking stick, or a stick can be a flag on a sandcastle. So it's really developing that idea that we have equipment around us, resources around us, and actually children get so much more from that. And also we're being sustainable at the same time using what's around us. So, it's a win-win for everybody.
It really sparks their creativity, right?
Oh, definitely. And their imagination, which is vital. It's the two things that we have as humans, and our children, I know that Virginia will agree with me, that just amaze us every time. The ideas that I have are nowhere, are the things that the children, I learn something every time.
Well, we know, just drawing on that, we know the research from, 21st century learning skills, the skills of work. It's reported in the World Economic Forum how important imagination, creativity, risk-taking, collaboration, those skills are needed to be taught by schools and encouraged and developed. And what better way in Forest Beach School? As Miss Claire said, we're really encouraging the child to go with their interests, to go with their imagination, open-ended learning, encouraging all those things through Forest Beach School. So we're very excited to promote. Even part of our DNA and Centres of Excellence is entrepreneurial education. It links so intrinsically with our Forest Beach School program because all those skill sets are being nurtured as well.
Fabulous. Yeah. No, it starts from the ground up, right?
Oh, definitely.
And what feedback have you received so far from parents and students in this program?
For me, as the head of school, overwhelmingly, it's been running for 5 years. We have parents coming to, when I'm interviewing for admissions, they always say about our 156-year history of excellence, our strong reputation. We holistically balance, the curriculum. We look at individual needs and the academic. We definitely stretch and extend, but at the same breath, they're saying, we know you have a world-leading Forest Beach School program. We know you're the only school in Hong Kong to have a Forest Beach School program. This is something very, very special. So when parents enroll and they're attending, the response is overwhelming. I have parents, because we take one parent per child, parents are signing up on a rota because mum wants to go one time and then dad's on the next rota and then grandma or granddad's put their hand up for the third rota. We encourage all parents or all adults to come, but that might be a system that works, and everybody loves Forest Beach School. I had a dad tell me he took time off work to come. He said, Mrs. McNalty, I need Forest Beach School. I need it. I need it for my well-being. And you're just here, the research about well-being in nature, connecting to nature, the sight, the sounds, the sea breeze, the butterflies, the sunshine, the vitamin D and E, all those benefits, the eyesight benefit, all those health benefits, they're real. And in times of challenge, and we've certainly had times of challenge in the last 2 years, even more important is the need for this program to be running, which again, we're so excited to extend this program to the wider community as well.
I think that's truly important. It's wonderful that you ladies are doing that because, with everyone living in Hong Kong, this space is sacred. It's wonderful to get out to this. It's just endless opportunities, right?
So Claire, what have you heard from parents? Because being on the ground...
Well, I was just thinking as you were talking about, messages I had and parents, particularly at the end of last term when the children are moving on. I always say to parents that it is an honour and a privilege to not only work with their children but them as well, and being able to share this unique environment which we have in Hong Kong. And parents say thank you for sharing your knowledge of plants and being able to name things. So when we're out, we can start to name the things that we see, which again develops a connection if you can name and recognize. I had a parent who said to me, and they joked, but when they said that I can't go anywhere now without my child picking up a leaf or stopping to look at the trees and wanting to name the flowers. And I said, oh, I'm really sorry, it must be really difficult to get where you're going. And they said, oh no, I really appreciate that. It's making us stop and slow down. It's been a big emphasis of mine to say, actually, our lives are very busy and hectic, and not only when we're at Forest Beach School, we have the opportunity to just slow down, observe, breathe in our natural environment, but we can do that everywhere, and taking those little cues and tips away with them, they really value. And also that they're able to, it gives them, it's a bit like when you exercise, you know you want to do it and it's fitting it in, but Forest Beach School gives that extra push to think, right, you've got that continuity of it over a year, and then in between that, they know also the next session I'll probably ask, oh, where have you been outside? So it gives that little encouragement to also take those little walks. It doesn't have to be a big trip the other side of Hong Kong, but that Hong Kong has parks. Everywhere you walk in Hong Kong there are trees. It's just taking that observation, listening, developing those sensory skills, and it's just switching on and igniting that sort of love and passion for everything's out there, which I hope I transfer because through my love of the outdoors, and also bringing things. So I try to bring something. Like this week I saw a snail when I was out and about, and brought it along, and then talking about my own experiences as a child, and then encouraging the parents to talk about, which sometimes maybe they don't think, oh, yes, my children, I can share those experiences of my own outdoor childhood, and sharing with other parents as well. It's a great opportunity to share ideas, experiences, and also places you can visit in Hong Kong. There's a lot of sharing of experiences and ways to develop children's love and connection with nature.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you. I think you pretty much covered our first topic area there. Wonderful, well done. So we'll get into our second topic, which is very specifically the Forest Beach School. How do children benefit from Forest Beach School, both short-term and long-term? Claire, maybe you can.
So the short term, I think we have drawn on this a little bit. It's the sunlight, vitamin D. I know that we're very keen to make sure children have sun hats and their sun cream, but it is really important that they do have access to natural sunlight. Also helps with sleep. Being outside, our parents say that the children are tired after a session, and I always say that they will have the best sleep, not only from being out in the fresh air, but being physical. The normal walking around to and from preschool is not the same as negotiating different surfaces, climbing over the rocks, maybe balancing on a log. We do roll the tires when we're moving different equipment, carrying a bucket full of sand, encouraging children to really move their own resources and collect their own resources. So in the short term, we're creating independence. We're also developing that love of nature, connectedness, and in the long term, because it's a forest school and our new program will be over a series of weeks, children will then be able to develop their confidence, their self-esteem, their independence, and they'll be able to take risks and develop a trial and error sort of process where that something might not work the first time. They might feel frustrated, they might feel a little bit upset, but what we do is to encourage, not as an adult to step in, but to allow the children to assess that and stop and think. And again, it's that slowing down and saying, right, what went wrong? How can we do it differently? If the children are trying to fix two pieces of wood together and they're using glue and it keeps falling apart, what could we do next time? What resources will we come back to? And that returning to things also develops their memory skills, because they're reflecting, reviewing, assessing, building up those sort of key ideas of resolving a problem, which then links back to the earliest foundation stage and the characteristics of effective learning, the how we do things, not just what we're doing, how we're learning. Critical thinking, so key as children develop, which will be key then in the classroom for their progression. So the short term is very much being outdoors and connecting with nature, not being afraid to sit down, that we're used to in the classroom, inside, sitting on a nice chair, but actually you can sit on the ground, you can sit on the grass. Those sort of sensory experiences are really important. And then as they develop those, that freedom that children feel and the space, without realizing it, when you take away the walls, children feel less inhibited. Very often language develops so much more because they don't feel that someone's watching them. They're sitting in the sea and they'll have an experience, and the quietest of children will suddenly just shout out what they're experiencing, and it can be really empowering and quite emotional, not only for the teachers but also the parents, to see their child suddenly so animated. And so it's just that long-term process is key to Forest and Beach School.
Rewarding.
Yes.
For sure.
Oh,
for
yes,
sure.
definitely.
Can you break down a typical day then? What your routine would look like?
Yes, so routine is very important because again it builds up children's confidence, so they know what's coming each session, although the middle part is very much led by them. So we always make sure we start with a song, and children build up a repertoire of songs. We have a safety talk, so depending on what we'll be doing, it might be talking about the tools we'll be using. Depending on the time of year, if it's a low tide, then there may be rocks, so we need to talk about how we'll carefully negotiate moving around in the sea. If it's in the woodland, we need to talk about what can we see. We mark the boundaries by using flags or ribbons to talk about where the children will be, and we play games to encourage those boundary skills, which again, when they're out in the park with a parent, they learn if you can't see an adult, then the adult can't see you, so you need to come back into the boundary. And we play lots of circle games, so building team games, building caring for each other, but also learning about, it's a step-by-step process. So if we're going to have fire and build a fire, before that we'll have lots of games at the beginning of a session linking to how we will act in a circle, stepping out of the circle, moving around the circle. And then we move on to the free child-initiated open-ended activities. We have what we call continuous provision, so the mud kitchen or a mud sand area where the children know they can use water, they use real utensils and kitchen equipment. That will be enhanced at each session. We also have a construction area where children can use planks and logs, tyres, and various different large construction, loose parts materials. We also have sensory experiences. They will be there each session. And we'd have imaginative and creative small worlds, so based around a story. Stories very much feature part of a session, whether it's telling a story or the children creating their own stories using little characters. And then the session always ends with a review, coming together, reflecting, children sharing what they have enjoyed. And really important is them being able to have a voice to say what they would like to do next time, what they feel that they've learnt, because you're valuing the child through that, valuing their experiences and giving them ownership over their learning and the environment and their experience.
And that at the end of the day is what's building the confidence too,
definitely.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, lovely. So the program is built on a philosophy of child-led learning, focusing on developing all 5 senses. And what would you say that children enjoy most out of that?
Very much the physical development, being able to swing, balance, jump. They have lots of opportunities in the classroom. in preschool, in our preschool, but maybe not so much in all preschools. There's a limitation to classroom space, but outdoors there are endless opportunities where we can build, we can explore, balancing. The children love the mud kitchen, getting messy. Maybe not initially, not all children love getting messy, but I do very much say to the parents, I'm the happiest and I will feel the children have been successful if they need to change their clothes because they've got wet and dirty, and if at some point their hands are covered in sand and mud, and they're making a mud pie. So they love that. Collecting things, they love to have experiences where they're asked to find things. Some of the bug hunting is definitely a really, really exciting one. Observing, looking, in the trees, looking at, thinking about what might be living there. So it's endless, but those are probably the key ones.
The top ones?
Yes.
Each week, Miss Claire sets up the most amazing and different provocations. So looking at the children's interest, but perhaps, a learning objective, she wants to create or encourage the children to try. And every week is different. And it's just incredible. The children, yes, there's that similar routine, but they'll go to the mud kitchen and there might be a different provocation there. They'll go to the science lab and there might be slightly something different there. So they're always exploring, their interests are engaged, it's multisensory, and depending on the child, every child's got slightly different interests. That is catered for and extended. So a big credit to Miss Claire. She does an amazing job.
Wonderful. I believe that we touched on this a little bit already, but maybe you could just reiterate, why did you decide to launch the Nature Explorers program to external pupils?
Well, I'll jump in first. Look, we know the research on well-being. We know the research, especially with COVID and lockdowns and quarantines and people perhaps more contained in the city. We know Hong Kong is 70% beautiful nature parks, but most of our population live in an urban environment. So we know the importance of getting children out into the great outdoors, connecting to those areas of learning, maths, literacy, science, physical development, the arts, the personal, social and emotional benefits, independence, creativity, well-being. We know all of that. So why are we not leveraging on that? And I'm so glad that we have 5 years we've been running. We know the research, we know the benefits. We need to offer this to our children. And we've done it very successfully to our 2 campuses at Malvern College. We've got Coronation Circle and we have our Island West campus. We also offer it at the big school, Malvern College, in the Science Park. Prep 1, Prep 2 and Prep 3 also have Forest-Beach School, which is amazing. But we want more. We want to encourage others to join. Often I'm interviewed or I'll be stopped in the street by parents who might be at a local school saying, "Oh, I've heard of your school, I love your school, that Forest-Beach School is amazing, I wish my school had it." Well, now you can. We're offering Forest Explorers, which is an opportunity to come to Forest-Beach School. We've got different sessions. I know Miss Virginia will talk about the bilingual approach. We've got sessions in English. We've got sessions led by our amazing Mandarin educators, with Miss Claire Jones leading the Forest Explorers as well. We just wanted to offer this experience to more children. We know the benefits. Let's open up the opportunity. So there is going to be a sign up. I know we'll post the link to our Forest Explorers. Malvern Forest-Beach Nature Explorers is the full title, and we just want parents, adults who are coming along, children coming along, up to 7 years of age is our target group. Come along in the afternoon. We're providing free buses as part of the whole package, free buses for the child and for the pupil, and come along to the block, experience the benefits of Forest-Beach School, and we'll make it so easy for everybody. We'll provide the transport, we've got the educators, we've got the sites, we've got a great curriculum. We know the benefit that's going to come to children attending in all areas, and we know once children feel good and happy, it really does infuse all areas of their learning. We know academic readiness goes up because children are engaged, they're inspired, they're learning, their well-being goes up. That infuses all areas of learning. The sleep is better. That infuses all areas of learning. So we know the benefits. So we're so excited to open this up to other children other than Malvern College children. Claire, what would you follow on with that?
I think that we have so much interest as well, and parents are really aware. We're all aware that we only have one planet, and that we all have a responsibility to care for it. And we are part of nature. We can't live alone, separate from that. And as with all education, the early years is the key time when children are developing so rapidly, and their starter point, the foundation, that's why I call it the foundation years, is set for their learning when they go through. So if we create a love and a connectedness with the natural world at this age, that will carry on. And I know from some research that if you look at really eminent scientists, educationalists, people who are a forefront in academic but science and nature learning, that they all would be able to talk about their positive experiences outdoors as children. And I know that definitely is my inspiration, my own experiences, and as a parent as well, and also going through life, that knowing that being outside balances with having a work life balance, all of those things where we're not just educating for the now to the 7-year-old, where we're thinking about the child and their whole life and life learning. So
I would think that it creates an awareness too for wanting to protect this.
Oh, you do,
Definitely.
Right? To interact
yes.
with it at such a young age and to appreciate it.
You have to. You have.
They see life, real life, so they might have a fish washed up on the beach and it's dead, and it gives opportunities then to talk about what might have happened and link that to plastic in the ocean. You have to have real life practical experience interactions to then be able to then reason those. It's not as real and doesn't impact in the same way if you watch it on television or you read it in a book. Those real life practical experiences, and we in the past have had beach cleanups, and we've linked with different parents who have an interest, and I've already said it, but we live in an amazing, unique environment where I'm just a visitor, but if you've grown up here, I'm sure that everybody would agree that we want to keep this wonderful environment and for the future of our children and children's children.
Mm-hmm. We want our children to have a deep connection with this environment, right? Yes. So we're at the beautiful VRC today, which is your learning site for ages 4 to 7. Do you have another learning site for younger children?
We do. We have Garden Farm, which is not far away from here, closer to Marn Shan. It's a great site because we know that children need progression from when they're younger. And here we have challenges for the children 4 to 7. But at Garden Farm, we can cater for the younger children. We have a fenced garden there, so it means that adults can take a step back and children can interact with all the different activities we've already spoken about. So we have a mud kitchen there, we have construction, natural construction play, loose parts, sensory experiences, a low level, we have equipment there where we can set up planks and tyres and things where it's low level, so the children get those early stages of negotiating, because not only do we want children to have some risk, but we also want them to be able to feel success in their play, and we risk assess the risk benefits there of a large grassed area where the children can run safely, chase each other, play circle games. And we also have access to 2 beach sites. The one which has a very slow, low-level trail into the beach, so it's very shallow. It's a great site there. I think it's the only place in Hong Kong that I've seen starfish. Yesterday we were finding little hermit crabs. It's a lovely site, and also because it's an organic garden farm, the children get to see where their food comes from, so they get to see fruit and vegetables growing. In fact, somebody yesterday said, I had no idea a dragon fruit grows on a cactus. And I said, oh, there they are, lemons, lovely sunflowers, lots of different aubergines or eggplants. So
once again, it's making that connection,
oh, yes,
right? Where does my food come
yes,
from? This
is
where
But
my
our
food comes from.
children have the opportunity to plant the seed, to help, water the plant, see their plant grow, harvest the plant. I mean, grow vegetables, maybe harvest the vegetables. I know I've seen Claire cook in winter over the fire, amazing vegetable soup. These opportunities, I mean, we're creating memories for our children, a love of learning, a love of nature, but these memories and caring for nature. Also, how we love the garden farm with the goat and the rabbit. I mean,
and turtles.
And turtles. But just seeing the goat and the rabbit, and looking at animals and
dogs and cats, and the children learn to respect those animals. So we do lots of talking about, can we touch them? Can we not? How to be there and not to be afraid. And we, I have even we've ventured outside of those sites as well on occasion.
Yes.
So that's that there are opportunities to do that as well.
Yes, we really believe in environmental education, experiential learning. It's part of our DNA and our 5 centres of excellence. So it might be a field trip, it might be to the country park, it can be at these sites, but we also look at other opportunities for environmental education and outdoor learning, because it is really important. Both our preschools have got a lovely park right adjacent to them, so we're often, taking children out to even the local park to get outside, look at nature, and that's one of our benefits of our campus as well.
Wonderful. Great. Okay, I think that wraps up our second topic.
Yay.
And now we get to go to Virginia's expertise. Mandarin and English learning. So if you could please describe how children can boost their language skills while learning in an outdoor setting. How do you see that happen?
Yes, the children will actually talk a lot when they were into the natures. So we are coming with, for the Explorer program, the children will come with English teachers or Mandarin teachers. So they will have a lot of opportunity to talk with the teachers and communicate. So the teacher will have access all the lovely settings that Miss Claire provides, and leading by Claire. And the children, when they're playing the activity, they will talk. And then they will use the language to talk with the teachers. So if, for example, like Mandarin, if they love to playing in the mud kitchen, they'll be fun, because that's all the material they can find on the beach or in the natures that's not normally they can use in the classroom. So they will build up the new vocabulary system in the natures with them. Also in English as well. Also, and we always encourage the children to try to answer the questions or ask the questions. So the children will love to answer questions more. But when doing the activities, we will ask them, what do you think about it? Or you can try to ask your friend, can they help you to build up different things?
So they can team up to answer.
Yes.
I think what's key is, Miss Virginia is right, we've got excellent educators leading the Explorer program. We've got native Mandarin teachers who are very experienced in teaching Mandarin, and we've got wonderful international expat English teachers. So they're very good at teaching languages, but all the staff are level 1 Forest Beach School trained as well. So they're really shining in the area of Forest Beach School, but they're also shining in the area of language development. So you've raised a really good point there. The educator leading that language development, scaffolding each child, differentiation for each child, but stretching and extending them and supporting them in a nature-based program. We're just going to see, because they're relaxed, they're responsive, they're engaged, multisensory, we're really going to see that level, all levels, but especially language, develop and develop and develop up.
And that's what a point you raised, was that careful questioning, so the open-ended questions, which again we're modelling to the adults, enabling children to think critically, to assess what they're doing, and again it goes back to that end part of the session where they're able to review, reflect, and then plan for the next session. So all of those things when they're discussing and talking, and talk is just so powerful at this age for their learning and development.
Right. Great. Okay. Children coming into the Mandarin language program, do they need to have experience with it?
No, I don't think they will need the Mandarin language skill to join the program.
Okay.
If a non-native children coming in, of course, maybe at the beginning they will feel, what's the teachers talking about? But teachers not just in using the Mandarin as language, they were using the body language, they were using pictures, they were using songs, and they were using the nature environment material to show them and how to do it with the actions. The children can easily get what we are doing actually in the programs.
And that's a really key point. We will, of course, when you sign up for the Explorer program, we'll send out a getting to know you form, a very detailed form, because Malvern College really looks at the individual child, the interest, the learning style, the language ability is one example of that. So we will differentiate, we will cater towards your child's learning style and needs, and then scaffold, stretch and extend them from wherever they are in English or in Mandarin. And that's what our quality educators, very experienced, can do so well.
And also the children who join into the program, as we will get the background information, the language they're using more, and also it might be a chance that's a mixed language children together and build up their English and the Mandarin at the same time.
Okay, yeah.
And children's language develops when they're following an interest. So
That's
when
true.
they're keen to be making
Engaged,
things and
yes.
they're engaged, their language naturally develops. So it's a natural progression rather than a more regimented, sort of having to learn something by rote. And so just wanting the utensil, knowing that I want to use something, they'll, without even thinking. And songs is a great one, and stories is a lovely way to develop that language and increase
Wonderful.
it, enhance their learning.
What are the expected learning outcomes for children in the Mandarin and the English programs?
We of course expect they will enjoy the natures, because they will have fun and explore the natures. And also during the exploring the natures, they will build up the language skill, and also they can talk with and feeling confident to talk with the English teachers or Mandarin teachers. So even though from my experience they don't know how to say something they found in the nature, but they will not hesitate. They will just come to me and ask, Liao 老师, what is this? 这是什么? And then we can talk about together, and then we can find out together. Maybe sometimes I don't know as well. So we were exploring at the same times.
There'll be a key focus on reading, writing, speaking and listening, but in a nature-based way. So the provocations that the team sets out, be it, it may be drawing some characters in the sand with a stick. We've got some wonderful nature-based stories. I know I was here last week. Miss Claire led a wonderful one in English, and she had like a story sack, and she had story stones. So the story was about sea creatures, and she had the props and the provocations, and the love and the joy and the engagement of the children, who could then go and retell the story using the props And these were some of our youngest students, but seeing that those tools to enhance language in different ways, in a nature-based, relaxed environment, scaffolded by our excellent educators, is really, really exciting for us. And offering that up to the local community, I think parents, and we will give not report cards, we will give newsletters, and we will share photos. If the carer comes and mum and dad maybe are at work, we're going to share back that learning and progress and what the children are doing through the Explorer session, because we're so excited to share this amazing opportunity with everybody at home, and how the child's engaging and how the child's moving and what objectives we're introducing for that particular session. That'll all be shared via the nature newsletter that will go to this session.
Great.
And also the program, we expect they connected to the Chinese cultures, and because there's a lot of special or fairy tales, that traditional Chinese fairy tale that actually can link to the natures. So like the earth, the sun, the moon, or the sand, the trees, there's quite a lot of them. The teacher will be putting on some story and on the side with the children together. While they're exploring, when they look at the book, they're interested, and then they will ask questions. Then the teacher will do it together, read together. We can build up something related to the book or the culture as well.
I think we'll be following the 5 elements, won't we? So that will be a theme running through sessions. And of course, so many of the things that the children do, they will be progressing, but they're not measurable because they are things like self-esteem, confidence. They just will be seen in other things children do in their home environment, in their school. And I'm very passionate about this area and love what I do. And I know that parents will over time get feedback from other adults and other people in their children's lives who will say, oh, they're really engaging at school, or they're asking more questions, or and sometimes we can't instantly measure those.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, those photographs and things of those experiences are key. But
I would think that parents at home too, when your child comes home and they have
Yeah.
this confidence and they are excited to share their day, right? Like that's all a really great reflection too.
And they may be up at 5 o'clock on a Forest Explorer day because they're so excited.
It's time to go. And just to wrap up the language, I know it sounds like a lot of it is conversational. Do you focus on writing and reading? Like I know you touched on that a little bit with the writing in the sand, but is there more? Or
It's differentiated. Look, we are going up to 7 years of age, which is, Prep 1 age, and so we will differentiate. We want to go with the child's interests. We will put out these provocations, these invitations to scribe, to write. Maybe on the scavenger hunt, they might want to record what they're seeing. Maybe they're drawing the birds. I mean, mark making can take many, many forms. We don't want that, negative academic context. We're going to infuse these wonderful, rich ideas and objectives in a very nature-based way. And that's, again, how children learn best, through nature, by nature, through their interest in a multisensory and fun. We can't forget fun. A fun way. We want to put the fun back in outdoor learning, which we do so well at Forest-Beach School.
And key to that children need a core strength.
Yeah.
So in the classroom, to be able to sit in a chair, to be able to hold a pencil, we're developing all of those things. Also, that holding a pencil, that as adults we just take as second nature, it's actually very difficult for a small child. So we're building up their strength in their hands.
Coordination.
Yes,
Fine
by that pincer grip, being able to manipulate things. We quite often have activities where they have to undo things, using tweezers, hole
Hammering.
punches, the tools that we introduce, hand-eye coordination. They are all key things, even right the way up to 7, that we can
Yes.
still be developing.
Yeah.
And going back to our children being more sedentary, being outdoors less, that's core strength is not as strong in our children. So building that up, will really prepare them for the reading and writing. But there are lots of opportunities for writing, and they're always there. We always have clipboards, always have different ideas for things children can do. We'll link the English and Mandarin through visual, being able to read. Scavenger hunts are a great way, and the children love those. So lots and lots of opportunities.
Thousands.
And the lovely setting that Miss Claire provides already, the Mandarin teachers will providing and the other set menu for in Chinese. So the children will have the opportunity if they want to read the instruction by themselves. So they can encourage them to read it by themselves. After the circle, we sit to talk about the safety or how to do this activity, and then when they go to actual activity circles, and they can, if I forgot, maybe I can look at the instructions again and do it together.
And our Explorer newsletters will be either in English if your child signs up for the English Explorer session, or in Mandarin if your child signs up for the Mandarin Explorer session.
Great. Do you expect to see more interest from parents in Hong Kong in the future for these outdoor programs?
Definitely, I hope so.
Yes.
I mean, that's my driving force is to get as many children enjoying outdoor education and outdoor learning and having outdoor experiences. So the more that we can open that out to the wider community, then I'm really happy.
I think that should be everybody's mission, vision, and values, to give this to as many children and as many adults as we can. And that is why Malvern College is offering opening this up to local students, any student in Hong Kong up to 7. Please, if you're interested, sign up. We'd love to showcase and share this wonderful opportunity with you and give all the benefits of this program to your child.
Wonderful. Do you have plans, do you think, in the future to collaborate with environmental groups?
We're already doing that, actually.
Yes,
You are?
Yes. Yeah, I do link with, I'm constantly searching. There's a lot of beach cleanup groups that I work with. The Lions Nature Education Centre and other education centres, but also part of beach cleanup. I linked with the Agriculture and Fisheries Department, so I could contact them to come and clear rubbish, but also Hong Kong Gardening Society recently, to try and enhance my knowledge of flora and fauna, so that then I can pass that on as well. So also there's lots of groups now in Hong Kong encouraging growing. Not only you don't have to have a garden, you don't have to have any space outside. I've been exploring recently how we can grow and provide that link between our food, where it comes from, and eating it, and so also growing locally. So yes,
and to carry on from that, when I launched the school in 2017, we wanted to connect children back to the environment. So each of our classes is named after one of the most endangered animals in the world. So we have the red pandas, we have the orangutans, we have the blue whales, more and more. I mean, every class is named. All of them are named after the endangered animals, because we want children, and we've adopted from the WWF. So that's another collaboration. The WWF is a collaboration we've had for 5 years now. We formally adopted these mascots. So the child has the endangered animal. We have a book about the endangered animal that goes home. Parents can read about the plight of the endangered animal, how we can take action. And agency is really an important word for children. Children to take action and have agency, voice, choice, and ownership. We want to give that back to children and teach children about not just sustainability, but environmental areas. And the WWF and all the organisations we connect to are building that foundation to launch forward. So we're really proud of our commitment to this area through Malvern College Explorer and Malvern College Preschool.
Wonderful. That's great. I realized I don't have my phone, but do we have questions? No questions? Okay. Thank you, ladies. That was very informative. That was great. Really appreciate you sharing all your insights today. The program sounds amazing. If you'd like to find out more about Malvern's new Nature Explorers program, you can head to malvern-forest-beach-school.hk. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Please sign up. We'd love to host you and have you along.
Thank you for watching Little Steps Live today. We are live every week on Wednesday. Of course, you can head to our Facebook page, to our events section to see what's coming up next. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on our social media, and even better, follow us on our newsletters. A couple new things too, just before we sign off, that's going on with Little Steps. We have a school newsletter that's out, giving you all the school info and news updates in the Hong Kong region. As well, we have a Bump Club Hong Kong for pregnant parents, and we have a big giveaway at the end of the month. If you'd like to find out more details on that, you can head to the comments section down below. Thank you for watching this afternoon, and until next time, bye for now.
Bye.